I was going to do this video of the Divine Masculine. It's hard to stay and read into what they're going through, um, but I do feel like with the Divine Masculine, he's going through turning events. And what I mean by that is when it comes to the Divine Masculine, he's becoming more and more connected with his human side. He's becoming more and more connected with his spiritual side. And the Pacific Divine Masculine's energy reading, uh, I do feel like he's having a little hard time in his throat chakra of expressing his feelings of what's been really going on with him and why it seems like he's been kind of distant or cold or kept to himself in a way. But I do feel like he's starting to talk again about what he's feeling and what's going on with him. He feels very distant at a moment, cold, but he's also hurting in pain because he can't speak exactly the way he wants to his divine feminine. With the divine feminine, she's been going through a lot of different transformations emotionally, physically, and spiritually. She may have a little bit of what he's been go through, where she just wants to be heard. She just wants to be seen. She wants to be valued. She wants to feel like she's on top of the world with the divine masculine. And it's hard to pinpoint him right now. But I feel intuitively if she's quiet, centered, she can hear him in her thoughts. Usually at nighttime, she can hear his thoughts and what he's going through and how he's speaking to her. He may not, in plain of day, speak to her like throughout the day or at certain pivotal moments he could. Other yeah, having a hard time talking. Has a hard time going about his day without his divine feminine. So he will do everything he can to escape. He doesn't want to necessarily do that and not reply to her, talk to her. But it's through these times that he can try not to be so consumed with the negativities and listen into, maybe his creativity side throughout the day. But at night, when he's alone, that's what he speaks to his divine feminine, especially when things are not going well or they're like they don't really can't connect the way that they want to with one another. So he will go into this euphoric state of talking to her like if he was with her in person. Anyways, he's having a real hard time right now with speaking to her because he doesn't want to deal with these past wounds, but he's dealing with them the best he can. And it's very troublesome because it gets him afraid, gets him vulnerable in the state of having to profess his undying love to her, knowing that he's afraid she's going to leave him. He's afraid that someone more handsome than him is going to come along. It could be a random person because he thinks of past tense with his divine feminine. But the divine feminine wants the divine masculine to know if she ain't going anywhere. She's been hurt herself. It may not been this divine masculine particularly, but she has been hurt by him in some way whether it's mainly by his family, whether it's maybe through a disconnect that they had at one point, but it all works out because it helps through the separation process. It helps them renew their love for each other and know how deep their love may get. So with the divine masculine, he's reaching out to his divine feminine for wisdom and guidance, and the divine feminine wants to be seen by him, wants to be praised and worshipped and all everything a divine feminine needs from her divine masculine. But she's been wanting him and craving him. I think a little she has really got into the fantasy play where she will want her divine masculine, sorry, but but that she's been going through this depression of hers and feeling like she's all alone because of some hurt he caused or some hurt that was brought in the relationship. Now, if this divine feminine was hurt by her divine masculine, she's forgiven him. It's mainly outsider influences that's been really weighing on her. And with the divine masculine, he's afraid. He's vulnerable. He doesn't want to be seen in the light that the divine feminine is portraying him because he's afraid she's not gonna be there for him. He's afraid that it's got him doom and gloom right now, and he's lost control of his senses when he thinks of his divine feminine because he craves her in desperation, just only her, and he's never had that with anyone because it's divine. And so he feels empathetic for her and wants to make everything right. But at the same time, she and him have to give each other space to grow and to make things right. Whatever, if she was hurt by him or he was hurt by her, they've got to learn to trust each other. And they do. And they also understand each other on an intellectual level that they've never experienced with anybody in this lifetime or will. And so it's been really troublesome for both sides because you have the masculine begging and pleading God and the universe that his beloved will come back to him, his wife will come back to him when all this is over. But he has to understand too, it's a lot of work to get through these hard times. It's a lot of work as a team to make things happen. And she cannot be alone, and he cannot be alone because it won't work alone in this reality. So that's my message for the divine masculine to his divine feminine.